part 6 of section 11.7. Conditional probabilities. The probability that B, assuming event A has already occurred, is called the conditional probability of B given A. This probability is denoted like this. The probability of B, that line just says given that A has occurred. So it's going to be somewhat like this problem right here. We are basically get to reduce our sample space from the very beginning and then use that. Okay. Formula for this would be the number of ways that B and A can both happen, so B and A, divided by the number of ways that A can happen total. And one thing to note is that the probability of B given A is not necessarily the same as the probability of A given B. Usually they are not the same. They can be, but that's really the exception. Okay, so now we're going to use the colored disc pictures that are also available on that last page in the notes to do these next problems. What is the probability? So you have these numbered discs and they're placed in a box and one disc is selected at random. Find the probability of selecting a 7 given that a yellow disc is selected. So what we're being asked to do here is to find the probability of 7 given that yellow has been selected. So what this means is what we want to find is the number of ways that we can have 7 and yellow over the number of ways, what goes in the bottom here is the second part, the number of ways that we can have yellow. Okay, so if we're looking at this, 7 and yellow, the only way that happens is right here. So there is one way for that to happen. The number of ways we could draw yellow, 3. So the probability of a 7 given yellow is 1/3. Okay. Find the probability that we have an odd number given that red is selected. Okay, so we want first the probability that we have odd, oh no, sorry, not probability, we want the number of ways we can have odd and red over the number of ways we can have red. Okay, so how many odd red numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 reds that are odd. 3 out of how many reds do we have total? 4. So that probability is 3/4. Okay, let's find the probability of yellow given that an odd is selected. So the first we want to do is the number of ways that we have yellow and odd over the number of odds. Yellow and odd, well that's 2, 4, that's 7, so there's only one yellow odd number. How many odd numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So that probability is 1/4. All right. Probability of a yellow disc given that the number selected is at most 3. So this would be the number of ways that we can have a yellow and at most 3 over the number of ways that we can be at most 3. Okay, at most 3 would be these 3. Yellow and at most 3, there's only one option there. At most 3, there are 3 possibilities there. So that probability would be 1/3.